Welcome to Pen to Paper. I'm Leah Lindeman, the author of the Canadian Reminiscence series. For this week, it's going to be more of a vlog type video. I went away this past weekend with some friends, and I thought I'd show you a few clips to just kind of show you a different side to me. It's not a side that comes out very often. Okay, Elsa. It's not a side that comes out very often because I tend to be a serious person, but I have a group of friends that actually includes my mom that really bring out, I guess, the goofiest side to me as much as possible. And they are huge goofballs themselves. I got their permission to put them up in this video, and here are some clips of us just kind of hanging out, having fun, and I show you a little bit of where we stayed.
Art shop where they had to do their best snowstorm and Canadian impressions, so you can see the beautiful white everywhere. That's what we look like in the winter. No video!
I just woke up half an hour ago. It's 8 o'clock and the whole chalet is extremely quiet. No one is awake. This isn't the first thing I look like when I get up in the mornings, but I did want to show you what the chalet looks like without anybody in it, in its beautiful perfection. I can't flip it. This is how we do it. That sound like nobody did. This is how we do it. You getting a video? Good. I'm sticking it on my channel. This is how we do it. Woo! This is how we do it.
Bring what? No. Oh.
This is what we do when we're on vacation.
Hey, watch it! Hey, get in there! Oh, Tyler! Hey, watch
So there, now you've seen all the crazy nonsense we get up to when we get together. It's definitely needed. But now we are going to keep going on to my October Reads wrap-up in review. And there's my camera person coming up to video me. She's my beautiful mom. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Leah's famous photographer.
Hey guys, pen to paper here. This is the review part of this video. So from everything you've seen before, this is us acting like crazy people, and now we're coming down to the reviews, which which I'm really sure you're here for in the first place. So a few disclaimers with this video. I am not at my usual space at home. I am on my retreat. And usually when I do my videos, I do them late at night after I put my kids to bed. And so you get this kind of boring bookshelf behind me. I don't have the space right now to decorate it like other booktubers do. So that's what you get every week. But I thought since I'm here, might as well give you some beautiful scenery to look at. And another disclaimer is that I know I keep telling you guys that I'm reading through The Stand by Stephen King. And I'm slowly getting through it. I just haven't finished it yet again this month. It's been since August that I've been trying to finish this book, but anyways, not happening yet, but I will finish it by next month. So let's start with the reviews for this month. I first read Only the Stains Remain by Ross Jeffrey. And it tells a story about two young boys whose mother has died, and their father completely loses a love for life and a love for them, and he's not in a headspace to protect them from the evils that surround them, namely their uncles, which their mother has kept them from throughout their entire childhood. And what you see is he uses the element of going back and forth between the present and the past, where he shows what happened to these two brothers and the reason why this character is going after these men that abused them so severely in the past is because his brother passed away through all of that. And although it is I'm just warning you, there's a lot of triggers for people who perhaps are very sensitive to these topics, so it's not a book for everybody if this is something that you can't read. But if it is beautifully told, viscerally haunting. It's horror, but it's in a way that really touches your emotions and makes you really feel for the characters. And in the end, when justice has been done, it is such a very satisfying conclusion to the whole saga of this family. So that I have given 5 stars. As I said, the writing was beautiful, and I couldn't put it down. Just the writer had such a way with words that it was not overly done over the top, but it was one of those books that I could almost say is perfect. Next I read is Below by Kev Harrison. That one I gave 4 stars. It's about this young man, I think his name is Nick. It's been a while since I've read it. And he gets to go explore this cave that his grandfather died in. And his grandfather was stuck in there with 2 or 3 other miners, and he was supposedly a hero because I actually don't even know why he was a hero. I guess he was in the war. Anyway, so he's in this cave, but they all died down there, and so Nick has the chance to go to this cave and explore it. And he goes with this social media superstar named Jess and their camera woman Sophia, and they go into this cave, and what happens is that they get stuck down there several times with this entity. They don't know what it is, but there's something following them. There's something down there, and this picture or this idea that Nick has had of his grandfather turns completely upside down, and he finally learns the truth of what really happened down there in that mine. Kev Harrison did such a great job of
building up that tension and suspense, really making the reader feel like they were stuck down there below the surface in the dark with what meager equipment they had to fully flesh out the blueprint of the caverns. It was a great read. My only issue with it was the ending. So I won't tell you what the ending is because I don't want to spoil it. But the last chapter, I really believe should have been removed. It kind of took away the punch of the ending. It took away the meaning of the whole story. So that's just my personal opinion. Maybe you've read the book, maybe you like the ending, because it definitely ends on a lighthearted note. And I appreciate that the author was trying to do that, but really it had a stronger meaning the chapter before. So those are my thoughts on Below. But overall, really enjoyed the read. It's fun, a little scary, but but maybe don't read it if you're claustrophobic. That might set you off. What is next here? Okay, next is The House of Little Bones by Beverly Lee. This is one of the haunted house books that I was given by Jay to read this month. And I gave that one 4 stars. Overall, I did enjoy it. And you know, when you watch those haunted house movies, you kind of hear that eerie music and little things happening that kind of add to the tension, and you're just like waiting for the big pop-up reveal or that moment when you're gonna scream. That was definitely there in the writing. So the writing was strong in that sense. For some reason though, I didn't quite connect too much with the main character. I believe his name is David, and his relationship with Luca. David I felt was very selfish overall, and I didn't see too much of a character arc or character growth. He was a little stagnant, and you could tell that he felt bad, but not so much that he felt bad, but he was feeling bad for the consequences of his decisions, but not so much that he actually made those decisions, which kind of cheapens his feeling of being sorry. I did appreciate Luca's character. The author did show that, I guess, unrequited love and what that looks like. The ending though, I did have an issue with, because it gives you the origin story of the ghosts behind the manor and the moors and why that entity is there. It didn't make sense to me. So in the origin story of the ghost, she has this daughter. Well, she's this old woman that's been made fun of. Actually, I don't even know if she's an old woman, but she's a woman who's been made fun of, and she's kind of like an outcast in society, and she somehow has this daughter, has this dalliance, and her daughter's older, and she's going to go to the market. I don't want to spoil too much, but it just really didn't make sense. And she feels this foreboding of leaving her child behind at the cottage. Now I get that this is 200, 300 years ago, so sure, not many kidnappings maybe happened like today, or if there's a cottage in the middle of the nowhere, you're not going to really look to go kidnap someone there. I get that. But if the character really had this sense of foreboding, how come she just didn't take her kid to the market with her? Like, it didn't make any sense to me. It kind of felt illogical. And then, but I guess the author had to have it that way in order to have this entity kind of go on her revenge spell for centuries after, if that makes any sense. So there were some great points, but that just kind of really ruined the ending. It just didn't make sense to me. But that's just my opinion. Maybe you've read it and enjoyed it, or still check it out if you like a haunted house story, a strong one. It is a strong book in that sense. So there's that. Oh yes. Then I also read The Gunslinger with the Rambling Readers. I won't say too much about The Gunslinger here because I will put that in the card up above. I don't know what side I'm going to be doing it on, but I will put a card up above to the video where we discuss our thoughts on The Gunslinger. It is not Stephen King's horror novel. It is more of his dark fantasy novel series. Kind of the overall feeling I got from the book, I was very confused. There were just a lot of events happening one right after the other, and you didn't quite see the meaning of those events and how they affect the gunslinger and those around him. It had a lot of strong biblical ties There's a scene where he takes Jake and he has to sacrifice Jake, and it just really brought me back to the Abraham and Isaac scenario in the Bible. And even a lot of the language that he uses is found in older translations of the Bible, like thee and thou, and definitely had a lot of very deep quotes about the meaning of life and what is his purpose. But basically, it's the gunslinger. He's going after the man in black. No, not man in black. Oh shoot, I forget what that antagonist character is. But his enemy and his obsession is the Dark Tower. But that's really only what we get from the first book. There's not much more that you can fully understand. But from what I've heard from Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative and others who have read this book, is that it really does start to make more sense as you read through the books in the series. That's my overall impression. But Stephen King has such a way with words, the way he describes settings and people, and it's just so unique. I've never come across a writing style like his before, so no wonder he's the king. He has this unique way with words and stories. So I'll definitely be reading the sequel to that because I want my questions answered. But that is, I gave it a 4 stars. And then, let's see what I have here. Yes, okay. Then I had the last book that Jay gave to me. Actually, no, sorry. There was one more book, but I didn't get it in time from Amazon, and I will not be receiving it for this month, but it's definitely a book I will pick up in the future. Was Inheriting Her Ghost by S.G. something, but I didn't get it in time. So the last one that I got from Jay's reading list was To Offer Her Pleasure by Ali Shea. It was definitely a book that's very out there. Even from these other horror reads that I've read, it had a very different feel to it. I appreciate that uniqueness about it. It's a good look into how much would someone sacrifice, or how much or how willing would you be sacrifice even the people around you to get something that you really, really want. So it was definitely that more twisty tale of the darker side of humanity and human nature, and how we can feed that and what that looks like and the consequences of that. So it was a very unique exposition on that type of thing. The pacing was excellent, really drew me in. It was nice, fast, but not too fast that you got lost in the plot of it. There were a lot of unique, I didn't really care about the characters too much. I didn't feel like I connected with them. And also, there was just a tad too much swearing for me. I understand that the characters that they're in and the setting and the type of that really worked with, you know, you have to be realistic with your characters, but it was just a little too much for my reading taste. But if that's something that doesn't bother you, then that's cool. Overall, I'm giving it a 3.5 stars. So that is To Offer Her Pleasure by Ali Shea. The last one I added because I still had a little bit of time. I knew that it was a novella, it wasn't a full-length novel. It's Severed by Joshua Marcella. So I read Scratches back in June for the Indie Readathon. Really enjoyed it. I did have some issues in that I found there was a lot of telling rather than showing. And I was happy to say that in this novel, that was quite a bit reduced. Definitely had a great origin story for the ghost grandfather from the first one, and you understand that really, I don't want to spoil it, I almost did, but I won't spoil it. Basically, it's about a group of soldiers in the Vietnam War, and they're in Vietnam, and they are stationed at this little village, and they're waiting for reinforcements, and the villagers say that there's this entity that comes and steals babies in the middle of the night. And of course they're like, oh, we got to save these people. And so the night that they're stationed there, one of them is on patrol and he's watching, and all of a sudden he hears these scratches on the door, and something kind of pokes his head around the side, and he sees something that just scares him. So he screams and fires off his gun, and all the others are like, what's going on? And so they think he's not seeing something real. Turns out he is. And this thing has taken a baby from the village, and the mother is in tears. And being the brave soldiers that they are, they say, we're gonna go get your baby back and we're gonna blow this thing to pieces and we're gonna be the heroes. Well, they are 7 men originally, and it all comes down to just one left. And I won't say how that happens, how this thing manages to outmaneuver them. But definitely, Joshua, great job on showing more, telling less. Great story to understanding the original scratches. I'm looking forward to the 3rd book to kind of finish off that story arc and how that's going to happen and maybe how this thing is going to be beaten in the end. And excellent tension building. So that's it, guys. That's all the reads that I have read for this month. As I said, I will be definitely keeping up The Stand in November. Hopefully I can give it a whole week that I can really just finish that off. It's pretty good so far. And I think that's it that I have for my reads. So tell me, what is your favorite read for this month? My favorite overall was Only the Stains Remain. Definitely a very strong work, and I highly suggest if that's something that won't trigger you, but if it is, maybe don't read it. So, all right, so my reads for November I'm very excited about, and I'm dubbing this month my buddy read month because I have 2 buddy reads that are set. But if any of you want to read the books that I'm planning to read this month with me, I would very much welcome that. It's always fun to buddy read with someone and to discuss the book together. So as I said, if you're interested, let me know down in the comments below. All right, so my first read for this month, I'm going to be reading Songbirds and Stray Dogs by Megan Lucas. Megan Lucas was on Brad Proctor's and The World According to Jay's podcast called Paper Cuts Live. She was their first guest. Great interview. I will also put that up in the cards below. And so it just sounded like such a great book, and they were raving about it. So I said, well, I gotta read it because everybody is loving this book, and I'm late on the bandwagon for that. So I'm reading that with Nikki from Dark Between Pages. I guess she's late too. And then I'm also doing a buddy read with Jay. We're going to be reading Betty, and we're also kind of both late on that one too, but I heard a lot about it in the summer from Leslie and other booktubers who have highly recommended that one as well. So that's going to be fun to do those two. But the ones that I do not have buddy reads, like that I don't have buddies to read with, but if you would like, let me know. I'm going to also be reading The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. I believe that is a classic. It looks like a classic. It was just this cute little booklet that I found at the library. It looked like a little journal that you could write in. It was just adorable, so I had to pick it up. And then there's also A Deadly Fortune. I don't remember the author's name. I will put that in the description box below. And then there's also Women in the Walls. Again, I don't have these books with me, guys, so I don't remember the author's name, and I'm really, really sorry about that. And then I think I have another one, but I can't remember what it's called. Women in the Walls, Deadly Fortune. Okay, that's it. Anyways, that's all I remember, guys. So those are my reads for November. And then, as I said, The Stand. I'm super excited to do that.
So you know how I said that I couldn't read Inheriting Her Ghosts by S.H. Cooper because it wasn't in? Well, look what came in while I was gone. So Jay, I'll be sticking this in somewhere this month with all my other reads. And I also forgot to mention that my book club is also reading The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. So there's that book I also have to get done sometime this month, maybe December. We'll see how my other reads go. And that's it for this week's video. Hope you had fun. Hope maybe I made you smile. But I really enjoyed just letting you guys see a different side to me. And if you are a subscriber to this channel, thank you for watching. Also, if you're new, welcome. I'm sorry I didn't say that at the beginning. Thank you also for watching. And comment down below what is your favorite kind of fun that you like to have. And also, what was your favorite read of October? I'd love to know, guys. So have a great week. Take care. And next week, I've got something special for you.